Hey, it's Rider Club Radio, the only podcast you know about Kamen Rider. I'm Jeff.
The only podcast you've ever heard of. And I'm Liam.
That's it. Oh my god, what a sad life that would be if this was it.
Actually, you know what? I guess that wouldn't be so bad. I mean, I'm not sure a lot of people go through their whole lives blissfully unaware of podcasts.
Yeah, maybe that's like the charmed life. Not knowing that podcasts exist.
You don't know any of this internet shit.
God, what a beautiful life that would be. Anyway,
okay.
This week we watched Kamen Rider X8 episode 22, and we watched absolutely 0 episodes of Super Sentai.
Nope.
Instead, we watched Kamen Rider Phase episode 22, episode 20, actually 23, 22, 23, 24.
There you go.
Shut the fuck, just tell me what happened on X8, you piece of shit. I try so hard, and I get so far.
But in the end...
It doesn't even...
Okay, X8. This week on X8, Brave goes to Kiria's office, and he says, Kiria's coworker, I have to look at Kiria's stuff. And he says, sure, where's Kiria been anyways these past few months? And Brave says, I'm just going to look at his laptop. I don't know. So he looks at Kiria's laptop.
Who knows?
Yeah, whoa, we're really worried about him over in the CR. Oh boy. Get out of the room. So he looks at Kiria's laptop, and he finds that there's the ability to rewrite. He has a thing that lets him rewrite Bugster abilities. He can erase Bugster DNA and rewrite it as whatever he wants. So he can change Bugster abilities.
Yeah,
stuff
he probably
like that.
should have used that instead of getting fucking murked.
Probably, yeah. When he was dying, it might have been really useful to have.
That seems like something he should have told somebody when he was dying instead of being like, Emu, be yourself and everything will be okay.
Emu, I have this thing that can solve all your problems. It's in my office, it's on my laptop. Blah.
And then Emu would be like, that's it? He didn't tell me to be myself or anything?
What a lame death.
What a terrible death.
The hell was he trying to do? Help me?
What a loser.
Loser. So meanwhile, fucking Dangerous Dan, the star of the show, is hanging out in his office, in his underground apartment, his underground arcade bowling alley.
I don't know what it is, but it has giant steel doors that the Ministry of Health just open and come in. Just suddenly, they're there.
They just busted and they're like, well, Dan, we realize that you're kind of suspicious, so we're taking you in. And Dan's like, no, I'm not suspicious. I'm not fucking suspicious. I'm not.
What are you doing with my suspicious items?
Stop.
Don't touch that.
Don't touch any of it. I'm not suspicious. So they take all of his things and he says, oh gosh, this is bad. And at the same time, coincidentally, a Bugster attacks and breaks out, and they go meet him in a skate park.
Well, no, it shows him fucking glitch out like he's got the disease first.
He's sick. Genmu is sick.
And he's like, no, fuck, don't take my shit. And then he's stressed. So he's Bugstered out.
So he Bugsters out. It's a Shakuriki Sports Bugster. They fight him. There's a sick bike battle at a skate park, a BMX park. I don't know, there's an awesome bike scene where they all bike around and there's a big fight. And after they beat him, it's Dan, of course, and he says, oh no, I'm sick, you gotta cure me, CR, so they can't arrest me, take me to the CR. So they take him to the CR, they cure him. While they're working on him, though.
You just skipped the whole episode. They take him to the CR, they cure him. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah.
What was that episode?
They take him to the CR and they treat him, is what I meant to say.
Okay.
And Dan reveals while he's there his motivation for all this is because when he was a kid, he was such an amazing ideas guy, writing down all of his ideas for games. And then he got a letter from Emu, and he was like, oh my god, Emu also has ideas for games. He's also an amazing ideas guy. Dude, fuck! So he puts
he's better than me, so I'm gonna fucking give him an incurable disease.
He puts the Bugster virus in a copy of Mighty Action C, which I guess is a prequel to Mighty Action X, and sends it to Emu.
There's been 20 fucking 6 of these games.
And thank God it makes it to Emu and no one plays it before Emu plays it. So Emu plays it and he gets infected with the Bugster, and that's how he gets infected with the Bugster virus, because he wrote down some stuff in crayon and sent it into Genmu when he was a child.
What a fucking rookie mistake to make, sending that letter.
He's gonna steal all your game ideas, man.
He's like Shadow Master behind the scenes. You have to understand, Dan is like 12 fucking years old, or whatever, right? And he creates, like, he turns the Y2K virus into a fucking living organism and infects a kid with it because he sent him crayon drawings. And then he follows that kid's life for 6 years or what the fuck ever. And makes him get fucking, operated on by Pac-Man, Dr. Pac-Man, who then extracts the Bugster DNA, and then Dan starts sending Bugsters out. This man is a fucking puppet master.
He waited years.
16 fucking years.
Over a fucking decade. A fair chunk of your life. Just for this virus to mature inside of this child so that he could release it on the world.
Maybe that's just something he came to after a while. Like, he just sent the Bugster to Emu hoping it would kill him. And when it didn't, he was like, well, I should probably do something.
Maybe, like, during the 16 years, he's like, wouldn't it be sick, though, if everyone could be a common rider? This is a way better idea than just killing a kid.
And all of his friends are like, what the fuck's a common rider? Because there's no TV shows or anything. They're just, like, hidden heroes or whatever. I like how everybody in Kamen Rider past a certain point, like, after Double, maybe, everybody in the various Kamen Rider series already know what a Kamen Rider is when somebody mentions it.
Yeah.
What's that about?
They just picked the name Kamen Rider out of nowhere, too. Like, there's no reason for any of the Kamen Riders in the show to be called Kamen Riders.
No, they transform.
Just fucking put this in your Kamen Rider. Fuck you.
Like, they transform and they're like, my name is Kamen Rider whatever. And the whole time I'm just wondering, why would you pick such a long name for yourself?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just be the last part of it? Or why wouldn't you just be Kamen Rider?
Because they don't wear masks and they don't ride bikes. Well, they kind of, I guess they wear helmets. But they don't fucking ride bikes
Sports
anymore.
rides a bike.
Yeah, it's true. Shakariki whatever rides a bike this episode. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful scene.
It was beautiful.
But we were still doing the recap. So Dan reveals his incredible plan, and Emu says, "Gee, I don't like you, but I'll cure you anyway." So they cure him. They have a fight. They pick the level select on the docks in the middle of nowhere. The abandoned wharf on the edge of town.
Of course.
And they beat the Bugster, and then Dan absorbs the Bugster and says, "Nah, I got this Bugster now. And thankfully, you let me escape and hide in the CR, so I won't get arrested. And now I'm just gonna kick some dick." So
he's like, I've got you in the palm of my hand your whole life.
Yep, he infected himself with the Bugster. He stuck the bug visor at himself. So he could go to the CR. Yeah,
he just wanted to not be arrested. So he gave himself, like, video game AIDS so he wouldn't get arrested. What kind of psychopath is Dan? We knew he was crazy, but Jesus.
He's a shirtless one. That's the kind of psychopath he is.
And he rips his shirt off.
He rips his shirt off in the best shot in the whole show. It's like this tattered rag around his midsection, and he's like, fuck this. He throws it on the ground.
He rips it off, and it's full on doctor nipples.
And
he's the only one that has medical training.
He's twisting around, and he's like, when he puts the bug visor on, he's like, like he's making these ridiculous noises. I can tell this guy has a fucking riot playing Dan. I love him, and he clearly loves the role.
He really has a good fucking time. Like, he doesn't even laugh as much as he just goes,
he takes the ball and he just fucking runs off with it. He doesn't give a shit. I love him.
That's the one thing that everyone seems to agree on that has watched this show, is that Dan is just the most wonderful character.
He's one of my favorite villains in Rider. Probably
me too.
In Rider history. Like all.
He might be my favorite villain.
He's
actually
so funny.
Because every time he's on screen, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And he goes, like, the best part about this episode is how genuine his remorse and sadness seems.
Yeah.
And then he just, like, haha, fucking tricked you, you dumb shit. You're the easiest person to trick in the world.
I have no heart.
You thought I felt remorse, but I can't fucking feel anything.
So the absolute best part of this episode is when Snipe goes to pick up the Gashat, the supposed zombie killing Gashat. It doesn't really work out, but there is one ready, and they're waiting for it. And a bunch of Bugsters attack the tower, and Genmu, after he kicks the shit out of Emu, goes back to the tower, the Genmu Corporation building. The Bugsters all like beat everybody up, throw everyone out, take it over, and Genmu sits back in his old office, and he says, "Home sweet home." and he's back in his old Genmu tower, back in the old fortress, and that's the end of the episode.
There's a lot of people repeating almost the same line afterwards, where they're like, "Wow, it sure feels like the final battle's coming. Feels like the boss battle's about to start.
Feels like the show is about to be over soon."
Yeah, it's only episode 22, but it's definitely going to be over soon.
Definitely not even halfway through. So, Jeff, I probably don't have to ask you, but what did you think about XA20? You just said it. Was it 23?
22.
22! What did you think about XA22?
I fucking loved it.
Yeah, it was really
I loved it.
It was one of the best ones so far. XA, like we said, stumbled a little before, and then it picked itself back up, and now we have another episode that I can say I loved. Which, for the first one in a little while, that I think I could say I loved.
Yeah.
But it was so good.
It's been a while, but the heavy focus on Dan in this episode made it 100% worth it.
Yep.
We got a ton of story information, and we got to see his nips, so it was a 10 out of 10 episode.
Got to see Dan's muscles, got some backstory. The other characters, like, we bitch a lot about Snipe and Brave, they've fallen to the wayside, they're not well developed anymore, and of course Poppy always was shit, but just seeing Dan and Emu, a whole episode just about those two, was so great, because they're the only two interesting characters left in the show. If you just zero in on them, they have a really nice dynamic. They have a really nice history with each other. They're just a great hero and villain combo. And I'm really scared that Dan is going to die because he just obtained a ridiculous power and there's an upgrade next episode. I am mortified that Dan's going to die and someone else is going to use the Kamen Rider Chronicle Gashette other than him.
See, that's the thing is, like, if Pallid is the actual villain, that's shit. I don't want that. I want Dan to be the villain forever.
If you're going to replace Dan, it better not be with Pallid, or Parrot, rather. It better be with someone as good or better.
Oh, yeah, Parrot. Sorry.
Yeah, Parrot. Get it right?
Get it right or pay the price.
Get it
Look,
right or...
No matter who the villain is, I don't want Dan to die. I want him... If he's gonna be anything, I want him to be like the scheming villain that's trying to get back on top. Yeah, I think that would be a good position for him.
Like, maybe someone else pulls it out and gets 15 times stronger, but he could be constantly off on the side fucking with everyone now. He doesn't like the new villain because he's so strong, and he obviously never liked the heroes, so he's just trying to screw everybody's shit. That's a fine role for him.
I'd be fine with that. I just don't want him to disappear.
It really seems like they're setting up this big final confrontation with him, though. So I'm scared he's gonna die. I don't want him to.
I don't want that. I want him to survive forever. If he won, I'd be fine with that, honestly.
If in the next episode, X8 uses that big, ridiculous, dumb-looking form and then just gets fucking slaughtered.
Yeah, speaking of that big, ridiculous, dumb-looking form, it sure is fucking dumb-looking.
And big and ridiculous.
Why? Why is this? Why?
It's not... Now, I've known about this form for a little bit. I saw scans a while ago.
Yeah, I don't read scans.
Yeah, see, I saw the scans, I saw the form, and I somehow am just as appalled now as I was back then. It's so ugly.
Why is my question. Like, I understand the level 1. It's like a joke, right? It's like the little chibi versions of characters from, like, old games.
He's the weakest character, yeah.
Yeah, like a platformer character or like an overworld sprite from an RPG. Like, they're little chibi characters. That's fine. But why is this, like, really powerful form just a big, bulky piece of shit?
Because fuck you, and fuck aesthetics in general.
Yeah?
Man, you haven't even seen... You have not even fucking seen what the final form looks like, have you? Have you seen the final form? Oh my
seen the final
God,
form.
Is it bad?
Don't.
I won't say anything else.
Don't tell me that.
I'm not gonna give any details, but it's bad.
All I was thinking about when I saw that was fucking, at least the final form will be better.
Nope.
Oh.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it. You can get the full... You have to get the full impact by seeing it in motion. Holy shit.
Now I want to see it.
No, don't do it. I'm begging you.
I'll try.
I wish I hadn't looked at the scans.
I'll try. Anyway, the whole side plot with Brave and Snipe is a little it was interesting, and I'm still interested to see where it'll go or whatever, but the fact that it didn't work whatsoever was like, man, I waited like 2 whole episodes to find out what this did, and you just kind of, it fell flat. So you're gonna have to get me interested in this shit again.
It's a side plot that only exists to build up this new form for X8. It's a Gashat that doesn't work, but guess what?
Guess what? It works for Bugster Boy.
Yep. And it's gonna be so level 99. It's gonna be so strong. I don't like it. I just like I like X8. I don't know if I'd say I love X8, but I like X8. But I hate what they're doing with Snipe and Brave, in that they're non-characters at this point. They haven't affected the plot in so long. The last thing that happened to either of them is that they get a new form, but that didn't affect the story in any way. They just have a new form now, just to keep up.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they got a new form before Emu did.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything.
It didn't mean anything. Fucking Dangerous Zombie Level X had more of an impact than either of these fuckers hitting level 50.
Yeah, they're pretty much non-characters, you're right.
It sucks.
That can be changed.
It can be changed, a very long changed.
But I don't foresee it.
It could, I mean... maybe after Dan... I don't know, maybe after Dan bites it, if he bites it.
Don't say that to me. Don't say those funny words. I hear those silly words.
I like Brave and Snipe. Like, I like their characters. I'm just upset that they're not having anything done with them. I want them to be like more of a part of this story. I think they have really, like, Brave especially has a really good potential as a character to come into conflict with it, like personal conflict with Emu over ideals of being a doctor, and they've never really like had an arc about that. It was always little things, like when he's introduced, they have a little arc about that, like one episode. But I want like a fucking actual 5 episode thing about this. I think that's an easy thing they could do with Brave.
It just seems like the writers of Kamen Rider in these days don't understand how to juggle multiple characters at once. So, like, the way it works is a character will get a ridiculous amount of focus for a really long time, and then they'll remember that the other characters exist and throw them like a couple pity episodes before they get back to the main plot.
That's a shame.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Fucking great minds think alike, I guess.
Apparently.
Speaking of Level X, though...
what?
The fucking, like, dangerous smash. What the fuck is it called? Critical
Dead.
Critical Dead. Yeah, the critical... Dangerous smash. What the fuck am I even on?
Dangerous smash is every time he punches you.
The fucking Critical Dead. Like, every time he's used it before, it was like shadowy figures or whatever, and I love that unlocking the true potential of the Gashat makes them into other zombies.
Yeah.
And he even explains straight up that, like, a zombie's main ability is to create more of itself.
Yep.
Which is true. That's fucking excellent. That's a great level up.
It's a very clever little thing. X8 sometimes pulls it out with its action scenes. It's no Fies in terms of action, but... It sometimes has cool little things.
I hate to fucking agree with you.
Yeah. My logic is infallible, as always.
It's watching Fies has made me realize how little actual fist fighting happens, or like kung fu fighting in general in modern Rider shows.
Yeah, really.
It's mostly just like using powers and pushing each other.
Yep, they shoot. It's even when they pull out a sword, it's like, I'm gonna get a sword, and then they slash the air and make like an air slash that flies at the guy. Like they don't even sword fight anymore. That's too much. Yeah. It's too much trouble.
I mean, I understand that they're like, it's supposed to be a way to show like how powerful these characters are or whatever, that they can do all these crazy things. And sometimes it doesn't make sense that, like, this thing that can fight these, like, horrible monsters can also just get hit with, like, a block of wood and it'll get knocked over. But...
It's a little cheap.
It's just... There's a middle ground that you can reach, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Just have a fucking fight. Just have good fight choreography.
Yeah, be like a Super Sentai. Have good fight choreography.
Just do it.
Zyuohger, anyway.
Fies does a cool thing where, just to remind you, every now and again, someone will miss a punch or someone will throw somebody at a wall, and they'll smash into the wall and just take out a huge chunk of the concrete when they hit it. I love that.
They use that in a lot of Rider series, actually. They actually use that in the first several times. Yeah,
it gets used. I notice it gets used a lot in Rider series, but Fies especially has it every fucking episode. And it's just a good little visual reminder of like, oh, yeah, they have superpowers. If they were to punch a normal person, that person would die instantly. Well, actually, that's proven false a lot of the time in Rider.
Yes, it is. It is very much proven false.
It's a cool little visual thing, though. They're superheroes.
We're talking about Kamen Rider X-Aid right now.
In which that never happens.
And no one punches for the most part. It reminds me of, like, do you know the restrictions on the 90s Spider-Man cartoon?
Yeah, where he couldn't throw a punch.
Yeah, he's literally not allowed to punch or kick. He can jump into enemies or, like, shoulder rush them and stuff. So they do everything humanly possible to not show him actually punching anybody.
Yeah.
X-Aid reminds me of that a little bit. I'm sure there are punches.
Was it the 90s Spider-Man where he says he's going to follow Shocker to the ends of the earth?
Yeah. Which is my favorite line from any cartoon ever. Shocker, I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. I want a real moment to yell that at somebody. I want to really feel that and yell it.
Yeah, I've never had an enemy in my life that great.
No.
Never.
I mean, there's always, like, one asshole at the office or whatever, but I've never wanted to follow him to the ends of the earth.
Usually assholes at the office, you want to get to the opposite end of the earth, away from them.
Yeah, I bet Liam's the asshole in his office.
I'm not. I'm the nice guy. I'm the hot one at my workplace.
Yeah. Well,
all the girls always...
you do work at the retirement home.
No, I know it's true, because every time I walk into a room with girls, they always whisper and laugh while looking at me. That's definitely
that'll tell you.
Yeah,
that'll tell you.
Have sex with me.
Yeah, they all keep like holding their like index finger and thumb up really close to each other and giggling at each other.
Yeah, that means it, right?
Yeah. That means they want to pinch your cheeks.
It means how close. So that's how close they are to fucking me.
Anyway,
speaking of Kamen Rider.
Here's my question about X-Aid, right?
Okay.
Is that Mighty Brothers Double X is level 20, right?
Yes.
How the fuck does he keep fighting all these enemies that are, like, way stronger than him, and they keep treating it like he's stronger than they are still? Don't put fucking numerical values on shit if you're not gonna follow through with it.
Maybe it's just the advantage of having a 2-on-1.
Maybe.
If they're both weaker.
Maybe. I do love the fucking comment we made before about how Mighty Brothers Double X is basically America and Canada.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking true.
The polite one and the boisterous one.
And it's funny that like we chose those ones.
That's true.
To be our favorite. It's just the way things work out sometimes.
That's proof. Definitely they were looking at America and Canada, and they said those two, they need riders.
You know what they did?
What?
They were listening to an episode of Rider Club Radio.
Oh, of course.
And they said, you know what would make an excellent rider duo? These guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just based Emu's split personalities on us.
Us with our hearts full of justice.
Except you're still an asshole.
Oh.
They didn't change that for some reason. They just changed that for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh. Well, I'm happy they did. Everyone will think I'm nice now.
No one thinks you're nice, Liam.
Oh.
Except those girls at work.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you. So do you think Dan's gonna die or what? Let's throw this out here.
I don't want him to die. He's gonna. I don't want him to, though.
He might not.
I don't know. Anytime I ever say, like, oh, this is a kid's show, they're not gonna kill somebody, they always end up dead within, like, 2 episodes.
Yeah, Kiryu completely snuck up on us. So, I don't know.
He died in a Christmas special.
He died. I've totally
Merry
forgot
Christmas,
about that.
Children.
There was a Christmas song. Poppy sings the Christmas song in the same episode.
Don't fucking mention that to me. I think that Christmas song is the moment of no return, where I hate Poppy forever now, and there's no going back. She could become the greatest character in the series, and
She's
every
not
time
gonna.
she's on screen, I'm just gonna think back to that fucking Christmas song.
Yeah. I wish Ryder had more overt romances.
Really?
I wish,
Fies has an overt romance.
Fies has a too overt romance. I mean,
I wouldn't call any of it romance.
it's something, but there's Drive ends notoriously with Drive and what's-her-face, Kiriko, getting married, but that's not really built up much over the course of the show. They kind of have some chemistry, but their relationship isn't built much.
Well, Chase is in love with her.
That's true.
It shows that your boy Tamari was also in love with her a little bit.
I just wish there was a writer that was more about seeing that grow.
Dude, girls have cooties.
Yeah, that's
Kids
true.
aren't
They're
gonna
pretty-
watch that.
They're pretty nasty. I take pride in never having physically touched a girl in my life, actually.
Oh my god.
It's been very tough.
You just admitted that on the podcast. All right, cool.
Yeah,
let's
it's
move
okay.
on.
My record is clean.
He's a good boy.
Avoiding all those kisses from my own mother was tough. I don't even want to talk about birth.
Whoa. I do. I want to talk about the fucking logistics. I guess I could agree with you. I feel like I wish there was more genuine human relationships in Kamen Rider
In new Kamen Riders.
that aren't like completely built on the fact that this character's a Kamen Rider.
Yeah, in X8, for example, everyone's brought together by being Kamen Riders. But in, say, Kuga and his archaeologist friend, whose name I forget, they're just fucking friends.
Yeah, I can't remember that either. I'm always reminded of, like, Lois Lane loves Superman, right?
Mm.
And she doesn't like nerdy Clark Kent.
Mm.
But Clark Kent builds a relationship with Lois Lane and shows that he's a really great guy. Eventually she falls for him, and eventually they get married before she has any idea that he's Superman.
Yeah.
Bad move, by the way, Clark. Going through with the ceremony first?
That is
Not a good
gonna
idea.
go over well.
And it didn't. But they stayed married somehow. Lois should have just been like, holy shit, I did get the good one. Awesome.
She had it both ways.
But their relationship is completely separate from the fact that he's Superman.
Yeah.
But most Kamen Riders only have friends and relationships and stuff with characters based on the fact that they're a Kamen Rider.
Yeah, if Emu wasn't a rider, he never would have met Brave or Asuna or Sniper or anyone.
And I guess you could say that in a way about, like, Fies. If he hadn't picked that belt up and put it on, he would have never become friends with Mari or, fucking...
Keitaro?
Guy who wants to help. Keitaro, yeah. Or become best friends with his true love, Kusaka.
Of course. But their relationship goes beyond just Kamen Rider stuff. They run a laundromat together.
Yeah, I mean, what do Asuna and Amu do together besides Kamen Rider CR stuff?
Nothing. They have nothing in common.
They
have
don't
nothing
even,
in-
like, spend any time together outside of the pit.
Yeah, seriously. You never see them going to the park or anything. I guess we bitch about this a lot. Just riders don't have lives these days. They feel less like real people.
And, like, in some instances that works great. Like, in Double, for instance. I use Double as all my fucking examples or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Double... Shotaro runs a detective agency.
Yeah.
So he is, like, doing detective shit, and it just happens to end up being Rider shit at the end. It never starts out as Rider shit. It's always a regular detective case.
Oh, it's like someone's missing a cat, and then a dope hand turns out to be involved, and...
Sure.
Sure. I'm sure that's exactly how all the episodes go.
And, like, in Forza, like, there's a school life that goes on, and it just turns out that the fucking Zodiarts are involved somehow.
Yeah.
And they do, like, regular shit together that just leads into Rider shit, but, like, in Drive, and No, Drive is always about the Roidmudes. They never do any regular cases.
Yeah, they're
ever.
special crimes. They only do Roidmute shit.
Yeah, and, like, the doctors only do CR shit. The only little bit of non-CR writer shit that we get is Emu's internship.
Which you barely see.
Yeah, which is interesting. I'd like to see him struggling with that more. It'd be fun.
It would be cool. I just want to see him in his home life and what he does on weekends, or really just anything outside of common writing.
Yeah, so you could learn more about him as a guy.
I would like just one episode would be cool where there's like, oh, it's Christmas and we're having like do hospitals have office Christmas parties?
Yeah.
They have like an office Christmas party and they go and Snipe sneaks his way in and they all just hang out. No riding for like half an episode.
They don't even like each other, though.
Well,
we don't like each other, and we do a podcast together every week. So
that's true. I would crash your Christmas party.
They can suck it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to this episode. This episode was fucking great.
Yes, this episode was very good. I give it my highest recommendation.
I give it the highest score available. 7 out of 10.
Did you hear the internet's losing its mind because a dude gave Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10?
Yes,
I
did hear about that.
7 is good.
7 is good. Like, 5 is mediocre, and 7 is good. And, like, 8, 9, and 10 are, like, excellent. 10 is, like, fucking perfect.
Yeah.
But now everything below a 9 is failing.
If I like a game and it doesn't get at least a 9.8, then you're full of shit.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
I give this podcast a 7 out of 10.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I can't.
What do you mean? 7 is awful.
7's garbage. On a scale of 7 to 10, I give this podcast a 7.
That's the real scale. That's how the scale works at IGN. It's 7 to 10.
Oh, God. Speaking of scales, it's time for news.
Okay, this better have something to do with scales.
Sure.
Or you're off the fucking podcast.
Sure, of course. So, at the center of Kamen Rider Amazons was a moral quandary. And this
is
moral
it cool
quandary,
to eat people or not?
Is it cool to eat people or not?
And the answer is, of course, yes.
And you could say the characters had to weigh these two answers. These...
Just fucking tell me the news.
Okay. In Superhero Wars, there's a new trailer. You probably saw it if you watched X-Aid, because it was at the end of this episode of X-Aid, that focuses on... You didn't? You didn't watch X-Aid?
No.
You're really good at bluffing. There was a... I mean, you did it with Fies that one week.
All I had to do was just let you talk. I didn't even say anything.
That's true. Just shut up and I'll go on forever. What was I saying? There's a trailer for Superhero Wars this week.
Yes.
And it's all about Amazons, and I found that weird as shit. Like, the fact that they're there is weird enough.
They shouldn't be in a crossover movie.
Yeah. What are they doing? They're not the Rider where Rider 1 comes in and says, okay, you guys are the real deal, Amazon. Like the fucking guy that said it's okay if you want to eat people, because that's just his life. You're number one, dude. That's not Amazon's.
It's like Shin being there. It's exactly like Shin being there.
Doesn't he have a kid to take care of or something?
Doesn't he have people to disembowel and heads to rip off? He's a busy man. But why? Why are they there?
You know why? It's because Amazon's was popular.
Yeah, you just shove everything that's popular into a movie. That's the Toei way.
Yep, the movie's got to be dumb. If the movie's not dumb, it's not a Toei movie. Even their good movies. Do you remember when they made, like, decent movies? Yeah, like, G4. We just talked about G4 like a month ago.
It's a really good movie.
Really good movie. Godspeed Love.
Godspeed Love. Missing Ace isn't even that bad.
Yeah. Missing Ace, I heard, was good.
Everything nowadays is terrible. Every movie.
Because they're all such clusterfucks. They're all...
People say, like, you can write a bunch of characters really well in a movie or whatever, right? That's fucking false. You cannot.
Well, if
you can write a small number of those characters really well and have the other characters stand around and say a line or two.
Yep. And that's
Please see the Avengers series.
Ooh.
Calling them out.
See Civil War.
Yeah, I love those movies, but come the fuck on, for real.
They're not great films. They're just they're good action
just
flicks.
Fun popcorn flicks.
Yeah. What I would want really bad out of a Rider movie is they just say, okay, we have the current Rider, and then who can we get back? We can get back Blade. Okay, let's have a movie that's just about this guy and Blade. That'd be great. Nobody else shows up.
You know what I would like?
What?
They're like, all right, let's take the current Rider.
Okay.
Let's make a movie.
No, that's dumb. You're a stupid
that's
idiot. That would never happen.
I know. No one would ever do that.
Well, there's going to be an X-8 movie.
But
I'm
it's
sure.
like, just make another fucking G4.
Yeah, well...
Make another, like, missing Ace. Do, like, a fucking alternate dimension tale or something.
That's some weird shit. They do still do Rider. Like, they did, Kamen Rider Ghost, the 100 Icons, and Ghost's Fateful Moment.
Yeah, fuck
which looks
that,
like
though.
Trash. I kind of want to see it,
shit.
but...
I think
like,
it got subbed.
Yeah, it's subbed. I just never bothered to go see it because it's Ghost.
Yeah, exactly.
They still somehow managed to be clusterfucks with a bunch of toys.
Maybe we'll do a commentary for that.
Maybe we will. Dude, it's been a long time since we last did a commentary.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Maybe we will.
We should.
So how about some more news?
Well, this is a little embarrassing, but that was my only news story.
I've got a story.
Oh, great. Throw it at me.
I've got, well, number one, I've got an actual news story. Chaim Saban is being given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
In the history of most undeserved stars on Hollywood Walk of Fame, Chaim Saban is probably top 10.
It would be tough to beat that. A man who was like, we could get this Japanese footage really cheap and then produce a teenage drama over top of it.
I want all that money
make
back.
So much money.
He said, what do you want? I say, I want my money. That's
my money.
Give me my money.
That's my money. I want my money.
That's how I know Saban. I want all that money.
Yeah, that's him. That is him.
I guess like he can be credited for creating this pop culture phenomenon that is Power Rangers.
But I don't even like Power Rangers.
Okay, yeah, like, me neither. But it's a pop culture
I did
phenomenon.
when I was a kid, and like there's some nostalgia for that and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I'm not a Power Rangers guy. Like people come up to me all the time digitally, since no one knows who I am in real life.
People walk up to you on the Tron space, yeah.
They come up to me on their light cycle and they step off and they say, Jeff, what do you think this Sentai is going to be like when they bring it to America? What do you think they're going to do with this scene when they bring it to Power Rangers? My answer is always, who gives a fuck?
I remember Gokaiger brought in so many Sentai fans. It was like a big jumping on point for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And when they turned it into Power Rangers, Super Mega Force was the name they picked, really dumb. A lot of people got legit upset. They're like, oh, they're ruining Gokaiger. Like, no, motherfucker, you have Gokaiger still. They're just making a dumb show.
Also, they've done this with, like, every other fucking series.
Yeah,
where have you been?
But I guess it's just so many people were there for the first time to witness Super Mega Force. That it was just this huge shock.
They're ruining Jew Ranger.
I think they're going to skip Jew Ranger. No, wait. I thought you meant
That's Jew-Oger.
Yeah, I bet they'll skip Jew-Oger.
They probably will.
We'll see.
They'll go straight to Yosha Lucky.
Oh, the good one. Yeah, thank God. They'll skip over that crap with the animals.
Yeah, let's tell Chaim Saban that anyway.
Did you watch Q Ranger this week? Just curious.
No, I didn't see it.
Me neither. I saw the preview last episode is we're sticking on Earth and Clipper is going to become a good guy, and I was like, well, I have zero interest in this show now.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about it.
Me watching is gone, so fuck this.
But I actually have a story.
Okay.
Over the weekend, I went to Lexington, Kentucky. I don't recommend it. And I went to the Lexington Comic-Con, which was actually really fun.
Ooh.
There was a lot of really cool stuff there, including the 501st was there.
Oh, really?
Which was really cool to see all, like, their perfect fucking pristine Stormtrooper uniforms.
Yeah, there's, like, movie quality cosplays.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really cool stuff there. Anybody who's never been to a Comic-Con, it's basically like a giant flea market full of useless shit.
Yeah, I've been to a couple conventions here, and it's like there's other shit, but the real draw is that big room where everyone's got a stand where you buy a little, like, here's a napkin with an anime that I drew on it. And you're like, yeah, fuck it, I got $5, yeah. Well.
Yeah. I want to throw away my money. Why
fuck
not?
It. Yeah.
But in the words of Red Letter Media, there's also a celebrity zoo. Where you can see celebrities of the bygone era.
Yes.
And there was some cool people there, like Gates McFadden was there, who played Dr. Beverly Crusher on Star Trek The Next Generation.
That's how I don't know who she is, yep.
She was in her booth for a total of like 1 hour. We were there for like 6. Jesus. She was in her booth for 1 hour. The guy who plays the Penguin on Gotham was there. I didn't know who he was. Somebody had to tell me.
Like Danny DeVito was there?
No, that'd be fucking awesome.
No.
You know I would say Danny DeVito if he was there.
Nobody knows Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
No. Maybe somebody knows him as that guy from It's Always Sunny or something, but that's it.
Only the saddest of souls.
However,
Austin
St. John was there, who you know and I know as Mr. Red Power Ranger Man.
The Red Ranger, yeah.
The Red Ranger. The Red Ranger. I'm gonna use that from now on. But his line was out the fucking door, right?
I bet.
And every other Power Ranger was there, and they didn't even have like a line set up. You could just walk up and talk to him.
Wait, the original cast was
No, like the secondary cast was there, except for like Johnny Young Bosch or whatever.
Oh yeah,
because he's got a real career. But all the rest of them were there. Not the original cast, but the second one, and then all the ones afterward were there. But there were no lines. Bulk and Skull were there.
Bulk and Skull were there.
Yeah, and I found out Skull was there because I was walking down the little alleyway, right? People pushing and shoving everywhere, and I'm trying to get by. And I slammed shoulders with a guy. Hard as fuck to spin around. And both of us say at the exact same moment, "Oh crap, I'm sorry." And it instantly hits me that this is Skull of Power Rangers fame.
You smashed into Eugene Skulovich at a convention.
And then we smashed, if you know what I'm saying.
And then you his pooper, yeah.
Yeah. Or vice versa.
If you know what he's saying, yeah.
But we slammed shoulders, we both said, "Oh crap, I'm sorry," simultaneously. And then we shared a laugh and turned and walked away from one another.
Was it like after the fact? You were like, "Wait a minute, that was Skull."
No, I knew, like, we laughed, and while I was laughing, I knew it was him. Like, he didn't do the fucking Skull laugh or whatever, but I knew it was him when we laughed.
That's pretty fun.
And on the way back around the other side of the convention hall, the Black Ranger was there, whose name escapes me
Zach
at the moment.
Taylor? That's not his actor, but...
I know his name is Zach Taylor, okay. But... his name is Zach. I don't know if it's Taylor.
Pretty sure I think it's Taylor. I'm 90% sure.
Zachary Taylor Thomas is his real name.
Taylor.
But he was in his booth, right? And he just reaches over his booth and like takes this woman's baby.
What?
And just like starts going, "Oh, who's the little guy? He's so cute," or whatever. But I didn't see her hand the baby to him. So I was just like, "Oh shit, he's just stealing babies."
Snatch him. That's the
he just decided he wanted a baby at this Comic-Con, and somebody was like, "Well, you know, he was the Black Ranger. I guess that's cool."
Human trafficking's a big business these days, Jeff. It's lucrative to get into.
But it was cute. It was cute, and there was also a moment where there was a guy dressed as the Green Ranger, right?
Mm.
And he was walking in front of us. It was a really great costume, and from like all the way across the hall, I hear a kid going, "Oh my God, it's a Power Ranger!" Like, lost his shit, and everyone turned to see the kid charge towards the Green Power Ranger and jump at him.
That's funny.
It was adorable.
That's pretty cool.
And I normally hate children, so you know it had to be real adorable.
That's true.
Otherwise, on the way back around, Bulk and Skull weren't even sitting at their table. They were just standing at the edge of their thing, just like grabbing people out of the alley and like shaking their hand.
That's pretty weird.
And talking to them and shit. Like, I guess they'd gotten really tired of sitting there.
I guess so. If you sit in one place for too long, it'll numb your brain.
And fun fact about that, Bulk and Skull are both, like, professors emeritus at 2 different acting schools.
Really?
Yes.
That's
and
cool.
Bulk is a special effects artist for a studio in Hollywood.
That's pretty cool.
That's neat.
Yeah. I find
Other
it cooler.
things happened at this convention, but those were the 2 that stuck out to me as being worthy of being on this prestigious program.
Was there any Kamen Rider shit?
Yeah, there were 2 booths. I shilled hard at one of them for Rider Club Radio.
Did you get business cards and all that, or?
Yeah, I got their business card.
Did you give them a business card?
We don't have business cards.
Damn it, Jeff! I printed them up for a reason.
Look, you can't just write your name and number on a napkin 700 times and expect me to hand them out. The name of this...
Just call this number and I'll tell you.
The name of the shop was Japan Hero Collectibles.
Okay.
And they are on all the social medias. I said I would shill for them if they told their friends about me.
Okay,
I told
Japan
people who came
Hero.
up.
This is our side of the bargain. Japan Hero Collectibles.
So, I would bet real yens, real American yens, that they didn't tell one single person about my podcast. So,
Well, you know what? You can hold your head up high, Jeff. You at least held up your end.
yeah. At least one of us has honor. Japan Hero Collectibles. They probably tuned in to listen to this episode like, oh, I wonder what their podcast is about. He said it was really good. And just started out with us just cursing and being stupid shit.
I see what they think of me.
No, they were really nice. I bought a Tattle Quest Gashat from
Oh, yeah, I saw you posting about that, yeah.
So,
got the
thank
best
you,
one.
Japan Hero Collectibles. The lady had like a really awesome Go on Silver outfit as well from
That's
Go On
cool.
Cheer, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And that's my news for the
That's
week.
some pretty sick news.
Also, absolutely no one recognized me, as always.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're just walking around with your face and your beard. No one's gonna, oh, it's Jeff from Rider Club Radio. I can tell because I've seen his face so many times.
That's true. I guess I've never fucking shown my face to Rider Club Radio, but I have shown my face to M-Class podcast fans.
That's true. Maybe M-Class someday.
I doubt it.
Don't listen to
Maybe
M-Class.
one day they'll be like, holy shit, it's that guy Josh knows. Could you introduce me to Josh?
Introduce me to Josh.
No.
Let me on
I don't want him to-
M-Class.
I don't want him to think I'm uncool.
That's no, I won't begrudge you that. Jesus Christ.
You don't know anything about Star Trek, or I would have already fucking invited you.
That's true. I don't know the first or last thing about Star Trek.
Except you knew all that shit, that specific shit that no one would know.
All
unless
I
they
knew was
watched
that Data has an emotions chip. Is
Yeah,
that
I
super
wonder-
obscure knowledge?
I wonder how you fucking knew that.
I don't
buddy.
think it is.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we can't talk about Sentai anymore, since it's fucking dead to me.
yep.
So let's talk about some Fies. Let's say Moshi Moshi Fies.
Moshi Moshi Fies, ring ring. I not a fan of these 3 episodes.
Really?
I liked. I like it. I still like the show. I do.
What's
But
your problem?
The love pentagon is my problem, and I
thought
don't
the Love
mean
Pentagon was funny.
and I don't mean Valentine's Day at the fucking American military complex. I mean there's a fucking love triangle involving 5 people.
You had that joke prepared, didn't
Dude,
you?
I thought of that joke at least 12 hours ago, and I was like, love pentagon. Let me write that down. I'll get that on there.
Dude's fucking honest. You can say that for him, if anything. He's an honest man.
Literally thought about it at work like 2 days ago. It's what I like about it. I love Kusaka in these last few episodes, and that was what I like about it. Is Kusaka likes Mari, Mari likes somebody else. Kusaka hates this so much he loses his shit. If that was it, I would love it. But it's this like Kusaka. So like okay, Keitaro likes Bird Girl, Osada.
Yes.
Osada likes Kaido. Kaido likes Mari. Mari likes Kiba. Kiba also likes Mari back. And in the middle of all this, Kusaka also likes Mari. and is willing to get fucking physical if she doesn't like him back.
I wouldn't say Kusaka likes Mari.
Okay, likes is a pretty soft word for describing
Kusaka is a psychopath who sees Mari as a reincarnation of his dead mother.
Yeah, he states as much.
He says it outright, yeah.
This is the weirdest thing, is like, think of it this way, you're Kusaka, you're like, hey girl, you should date me. She's like, no. And this guy says, you should really leave this girl alone. And you decide that the best course of action is to be like, no. She needs to be my emotional replacement for my mother. I'm sorry, Takumi, I need this.
The best part about that scene is that he says, she could be my mother, she could save me.
She could be my mother.
Our boy, our hero, looks him dead in the eye and says, save you? That's what he focuses on. Save you. He just called Mari his mother. How did you miss that?
Nope. Maybe it's normal in Japan. Maybe this is the most. Maybe, you know what? I think Takumi has studied Freud.
Maybe Takumi just understands the Oedipus complex.
Yeah,
he just gets the ins and outs of it.
He says that, and he's like, yeah, okay, that's how love
he's
is.
a learned man.
Yeah, definitely wants to fuck his dead mother. This Kusaka.
Kusaka is the slimiest character. Like, by far. He just, like, keeps getting really close to people and just being weird and creepy and, like, sexually aggressive, even in situations where he's not being sexual at all.
The scene with him and Mari in the van is fucking great. I love that bit.
Terrifying.
He's leaning over and he's like, Mari, I just wish you'd look at me. I look at you all the time. And she's like,
just look at you.
Shrinking away from him. It's so creepy. Yeah. It's so, like, you feel like you need a shower after watching it.
Yeah.
I love Kusaka.
That was really creepy as well. But the one that's, like, extra creepy because it's not supposed to be sexually aggressive is the one where he's talking to Kiba. And he gets, like, all close to him and shit.
Oh, and he's
and like when he puts his hands on his shoulders and everything, and he's like, "This is a bad situation."
Is it the one where they meet after Kiba is talking to Mari and they really like each other, and he's like, "Hey, you shouldn't go out with her, buddy." Yeah,
yeah. He's such a slime ball.
I love him.
He's a great character.
It's
I like these episodes. Maybe I just was in a mood for it. The whole Love Pentagon seems like more of a joke than anything to me. It's played for laughs.
It's played for laughs, but it feels a little convoluted. I feel like
it's a love triangle, really.
It's Kusaka, Mari, and Kiba, the only three important people.
That's the love triangle. The other characters are all superfluous jokes.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I would hate a love triangle if one of the members of the love triangle wasn't like a psychopath.
Yes.
Like that makes it work to me.
Like I said, just that part is great, and having that as Kusaka's motivation really works for his character, especially since they give him that background of like he never really had a strong female figure in his life, and now he's kind of searching for one in Mari. I really like that in his character. It's just that when you add those three other characters, it feels like a superfluous tumor that I don't really care for on this. Like, even when it's played for laughs, it's like you're taking this thing that's super serious and very, very good, and it's like connecting it to this comedy is sort of weird with the tone.
That's sort of the way Japanese storytelling works. In a way, there's always, no matter how serious a story is, there's always like really out of place, like slapstick comedy as well. Like, people talk about the depth of like Neon Genesis Evangelion, right?
Yeah.
But there is like silly slapstick ass humor throughout the whole thing.
Is there? I've never seen it.
There is. There's all this like peeping Tom humor where like people mistake Shinji for like peeping on them.
Oh.
And shit. And maybe that's just the way storytelling in Japan works. Like, you have to have levity. I mean, no matter how serious it gets.
Yeah, like, that's... Storytelling in general has levity. Like, even Shakespeare had, like... You see Macbeth.
Well, Shakespeare is, like... has levity in it because he thought people were too dumb to follow the story.
That's true. That's true, but, like...
And he was right.
And he was right. People back then were not smart, but
I
like,
mean, there's not a lot of comedy in, like, Event Horizon.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, even in movies that are serious, there'll be a character that occasionally cracks wise a couple times, just to break a little bit of the tension.
Oh, yeah. You gotta break the tension unless your purpose is to continually ramp the tension up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case-by-case basis, really.
Yeah.
But you can go too far with it, and Japanese media often goes a little too far with it, in my opinion. Maybe it's just my gaijin taste showing.
I love that silly old Kaido is the one who gets the belts.
Yeah, their plan is fucking fantastic. Just, like, pull them over, and then, we'll be taking these, and they're like, well, sure, as long as you give them back soon. And then they just drive
like, well,
off.
you're the police now, so I guess we have to give it to you.
You can't just say no to these cops, and the cops just drive off.
Even Kusaka, who's just about to make a deal with the devil, is like, I gotta give this to a cop, I guess.
The weirdest thing about Rider is that the main characters always abide by the law, no matter what. You notice how everyone always wears a helmet, even the most evil characters always wear helmets when they're biking, but my favorite thing is in Agito, there's a chase scene with Gills on his motorbike, and he's like being chased by someone, and he comes to a red light, and there's no cars or anything, he just comes to a red light and he stops, and the intersection is just dead, and he's stopping at this red light, and he's like, come on, turn green, and he's looking behind him waiting. It's like no one's crossing, right? Just go.
It's hysterical.
But like you can't have your superheroes for kids running red lights and not wearing helmets, because they might take that as an example. Them. Yeah. It's fucking hilarious.
I love the fact that the belts are so interchangeable. Like, other people continuously steal the belts and use them.
Yeah, and this episode turns my theory around. Remember when I thought, I said, the Kaiser belt can only be worn by non-Orphanox, and if an Orphanox puts it on, it kills them or something. That's what I thought.
Yes.
Apparently not, because the bartender lady wears the Kaiser belt this episode.
Although you don't know what happens to her next episode.
That's true. She might turn to dust next episode. I don't know. Probably not.
Or it might have some ill effect on her.
But they say that the belts were made for the Orphanox King, so there's no way it's just going to kill him if he puts it on.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that they fucking said that. All right, everybody. I know the secrets, and Liam doesn't, by the way.
Maybe non-Orphanox die when they put the belt on, and Kaisa's an Orphanox, and at the last reunion they were turned into non-Orphanox, but Kaisa missed it, so he's an Orphanox forever.
Yeah, they just gave him the non-Orphanox juice, and they all drank it and turned back to humans.
It's blue Kool-Aid.
I remember when I went to my reunion and they made me drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Did it end with everyone dying?
I am a ghost. That's why I was so offended by Kamen Rider Ghost. I actually like these episodes. The thing is, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, right? Where I've enjoyed Fai's each episode a little bit more, for the most part. So I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop when I finally stopped watching.
I'm waiting for that point. Like, there's got to be a reason why this show has a bad reputation. There's got to be a real tangible reason. I'm waiting to find it.
And I felt it, right? Like, I've never been the type of person that was so, like, changeable by other people's opinions that I could have just been like, yeah, I didn't like it. I don't like it, even though I didn't give it a chance because fucking people said it was bad.
Yeah. Like,
I don't give a shit what people say about anything.
Okay. As evidenced by Rider Club Radio.
Exactly. Also, like, I'll watch fucking The First a million times because I love the suits fight scenes so much. Mm-hmm. And some people won't even touch it because it's so bad.
I'm one of those people. I can't, I can't watch it just for the suits and fight scenes. It's not worth the other hour and a half of the movie.
I'm so used to it now. The thing is, I streamed it for a bunch of people a bunch of times, is why. Like, different people a bunch of times. So I'm so fucking used to it now that I just tune out.
It's like the boiling frog experiment.
Yeah, they kept turning the heat up and I just didn't notice.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying Faiz a lot more than I thought I would. The love pentagon bothered me, but I really love Kusaka and his whole dealio. So, same as you, I'm just waiting to see what the fuck goes wrong that makes me apparently, hate it. So,
I don't know. Maybe it just won't happen. Maybe I was just full of shit. It's been years and years and years since I watched it.
Kabuto was real good until that last quarter. Never say never.
That's true. That is true.
Until the Dark Kitchen arc, Kabuto was real cool.
It's been half a decade or more since I watched any of Fai's, but I was pretty sure I stopped watching around the late 20s.
Late 20s?
I think.
Everyone told me it was the 20s when it gets bad.
Yeah.
So we're on 3, 4?
Yeah, we just finished 23.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're getting there. hold your breath. We're gonna start hating it soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
Oh,
Actually, I think we just finished 24.
Was it 24? Wow.
Yeah. So it's soon.
Soon.
I think when I stopped watching.
Oh boy.
I know, like, the third belt had been revealed and everything by then.
Yeah, that's coming next episode. We picked a good episode. Like, this is a good episode to stop on. Like, a good 3-episode spread, because at the end of the last episode, the riders lose their belts and they're about to get their shit kicked in by a couple Orphanox, and I don't know how they're going to be saved.
There's a weird scene where, like, the Hojo Orphanox, whatever his real name is, like, just weeping uncontrollably for some reason.
He's a proud man.
And, like...
Doesn't like losing.
And it wasn't because his friend got murdered, either.
Nope.
His friend who literally never said a line.
He's
just weeping because he lost.
You know Hojo, he only cares about himself and what other people thinking about him.
That's true.
That's it.
I assume this is just Hojo. Like, he died after Agito at some point and became an Orphanox.
He's an original. He's an original Orphanox. So he died, he fell off a bridge or something, and now he hangs out with the Lucky Clover all day.
Yeah, there's the search for the 4th Lucky Clover member was fun.
I like when they had Kusaka for a bit, and then they were like, yeah, you can't join, you're not an Orphanox. Bitch.
You fucking
Beat
baby
you
back
up.
bitch.
Beat you up, no riders allowed.
It's a good fucking
It's a good motto.
rule. It's a good rule, I think.
Riders usually bring bad things with them.
Sayonara, Fies.
Sayonara Fies, you're still good.
Yeah, it's still good.
Still good. Let's open
Our
up that
one-
mailbag.
Our one and only email
Oh, the saddest email.
is from Jake
What
the
is the loneliest
Snake.
number?
He says, "Hey, Rider Club Radio. Gotta love another episode showcasing why Dan is, in my opinion, the star of the show. My favorite character, without a doubt."
Yep.
Agreed.
He's become my favorite over the course of the show.
Me too. I like the Bugster this week because we finally had biking happen again using Shakuriki Sports. I really missed that.
I miss the Shakuriki Sports jingle. Hasn't
Yeah,
played
me
in a
too.
long time.
I missed the opening theme.
What I love about this, there's the Shakuriki Sports jingle, but the way Excite translates it is the line is the way it goes is Shakuriki, bad. It just says bad, but the way they translate it, they say, check out this bad boy. I think that's I like that. It's fun. It's a funny little line. Sasuga Excite.
Questions. 1. This is a question I'll have to ask again when X8 is over, but what are some of your favorite critical cut-in portraits that have happened in the series so far? My pick goes to Genham's Critical Dead, which was finally given one this week.
Shit, I was gonna say Critical Dead.
I'm gonna have to say, Tattle Quests. I forget what it's called.
I think it's Critical Slash.
Maybe.
Want to say? I like
Maybe.
I like Mighty
I
Action.
like the flames.
I like Mighty Critical Strike because I like the way the 90s effects swirl around the hammer. They look cool around his hammer.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Fuck,
It's-
there's so many.
It's a lot. There's a lot of cool cut-ins. I love all of them when it shows the text boom across diagonally across the screen, and it shows their face in one and the weapon in the other. It's really neat. It's just a cool little.
It's
very
a great
video
visual.
gamey, visual.
Yeah. The thing about this series is the special effects are excellent for what they are.
Yeah.
They went really simple and something that can be done really easily without it looking hokey.
It's very smart.
I appreciate the hell out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the hammer, the little Ornak Bammer.
The Bammer. The Ornak Bammer.
Ornak Bammer, the best weapon in kind.
Question 2. Got any henshin stances or sequences that you guys find cool or like to do from the series that you've watched? Black's is fucking awesome.
Black's is the best forever.
Especially because they had to give out printed instructions to kids on how to do it.
They still do. If you go on Toei's YouTube channel, every rider has a thing where they're like, here's how to do the pose. Some of them are really easy, but my favorite part is they justify them being in-universe. So it's like, Emu, it's time to practice. Let's start with the pose. And Emu's like, do we really have to practice the fucking pose that I do for no reason? And they're like, alright, get going. It's all shit like that. It's really good.
Man, there are so many cool poses for transforming. The transformation sequence that I love the most out of Tokusatsu, because you didn't just say Rider. The transformation sequence that I love the most is Space Sheriff Gavon's.
The Jochuk. Space Sheriff Gavon's armor comes at him at a quarter of a nanosecond.
Let's see that again in slow motion. It's very simple, but I love that after he transforms, he just cycles through like 8 poses.
Yeah.
I love that.
Another one I have to say I love is drives. When he flicks the thing in, he flicks in the car and he pulls the lever and then he does that shit with his hands and goes around in a circle. That's one that's really hard to do, but I actually do know how to do it. It took some practice. It took some lonely nights in front of a mirror.
I don't doubt it.
But I can do it.
How pathetic.
How pathetic is this guy, yeah.
When it comes to drive, I really fucking love Let's Henshin.
Oh, yeah.
With like the little, like, he puts his hand up like he's serving a plate of transformation.
Here's your can of whoop ass, sir.
I love that. Black's is probably the best rider.
Black's is my favorite, yeah. Ever. I've never been topped. He's just, honestly, pose is so badass.
I really love Zetcross's transformation. It's so ridiculously simple, but I love the trailing after image effect of his arms.
Yeah.
It just looks so cool.
Yeah. His is neat.
It's really tough.
It's tough.
Because all of them are special in their own way.
They're all, well, you're talking like they're all kids.
They are. They're my children.
I like, if we're talking more modern ones, I like Snipes that he points the Gashad at you and shoots it like a gun and then spins it around like a revolver before putting it in. I think that's neat.
I like that too, but I really loved Laser doing a spin kick.
Yeah, he to kicks transform. His portrait, yeah.
I thought that was awesome. When it comes to like the aesthetics involved, I really love Forze's transformation when it does like the countdown and it does like the crooked zoom on people's faces that are watching.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I love that so much.
It gets you pumped.
And the fact that half of the episodes in the series or more don't have that in it pisses me off so bad.
Well, it makes you appreciate it more when it does come around. That's the good shit.
The problem about it is like 90% of the episodes that have it are at the beginning of the series.
Oh, it's one of those things that just drops off.
Yeah, and then once in a blue moon afterwards, it happens.
It's like when Black has that cool thing where the steam comes out of his suit.
Yes.
When he's transforming. Halfway through the series, or like, I think it's about half, or a little over half, they replace the steam. It's the same shot, but they replace the steam with like post-effect steam. It looks awful. It looks so bad, and I don't know why they do it, because the original steam looks great.
I don't want that at all.
But they were like, yeah, we need more steam, like 3 times as much steam, so just add it in post, and it looks fucking dreadful. It's terrible. Anyways, that's my thoughts on transformation poses. I like them.
I love transformation poses. It's like, it seems like all the cool ones have been taken at this point.
Yeah, I mean, what more can you do? You have to do ridiculous shit like what Drive and X-Aid do.
Just flip your arms around.
Guy where he just flings his arms in a circle and makes a little tornado out of his arms, and then...
The thing about Gimes is that if he did it at a normal speed, it would be normal. It would be a normal transformation thing. But he just flings his arms as fast and as hard as he can.
It's a necessity. He has to get it done as fast as possible. He's got lives to save.
And on the other side of things, are there any henshin stances or sequences that you would find hard to pull off, or would suck if you screwed up doing it in real life? For the former, I'm a big fan of Go's henshin.
Hey.
And for the latter, Alternative Zero from Ryuki is the tough one, because he tosses his deck up high in the air, and if you didn't catch it right, it would just land in the floor. Which would be very awkward.
Well, speaking of Gaim, if you don't do Gaims right, your Lockseed's going across the fucking room.
That's true.
If you mess up even a little bit.
Man, I don't know.
The hardest one I ever tried to do was Duke. You know, Dr. Ryoma?
Yeah.
Ryoma Sengo. His is so hard. He flips his hands around like he's making a fucking ninja symbol. I can't figure it out.
Huh.
It's the hardest.
He does
one.
like a roll thing with his hands, right? Like he rolls them around each other really quick.
Yeah, kind of. He like has his hands and then he sort of like circles them and then puts one out and then puts the other one out and puts the. It's complicated.
It's complex, is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough.
That's a tough one.
That's
There's a
a
lot
toughie.
of tough poses out there.
You know what transformation sequence I fucking love?
What's
to
that?
death. It's Garen's. And it's because it's so fucking simple. He holds his hand up, like, he holds his right hand up on the left side of his head, right? Like kind of low. And then he just says, he goes, Henshin! And clenches his fist really dramatically. And then he, like, puts the card deck in.
I can appreciate it.
He, like, flicks it. He, like, flips it around. Like, he clenches his fist and then he moves his hand down and does the, like, turn up on his buckle.
Yeah.
And it's just so fucking dramatic. It looks so cool.
A nice simple one can be cool.
It's weird how the ones that, like, villains do, like Hojo when he transformed for the first time into Fies, and he just clicks the thing in, like, really slowly, like, click, Henshin, click, and transforms, is so threatening. And he's just putting it in real slow, which is a good tip for you first time lovers out there. Put your Henshin device in real slow.
Oh, is it time for Rider Club Radio After Dark?
After Dark.
We spend pretty much all this show we spent talking about butt fucking and gay sex, so you don't even want to know. You have no idea what it's like after dark.
It's gonna get lots of dicks and butts. Thanks, and looking forward to the next episode as always. Jake the Snake. And he included that picture of Dan, like, crookedly leaning back over his shoulder and smiling.
Oh, yeah, when he takes his shirt off.
He said, P.S. The smile of a true winner. Never stop being awesome, Dan the Zombie Man.
Man, I hope he doesn't die.
I want him to live forever.
I want him to live forever. So is that our show?
That is our entire program.
Well, I'll be darned.
Thank you all for tuning in. If you would like to have your email read on the show, we're obviously running a bit low on fans these days.
All days.
Then you could send an email in to riderclubradio@gmail.com.
Or you can follow us on Twitter @RiderClubRadio. No caps, no spaces, no numbers.
And you can tweet at us there. We have a pretty good time on there. I made fun of Hayam Saban pretty hard.
We even retweet sometimes.
Every now and then, when people are funnier than us, which just doesn't happen.
Almost never.
We are the two funniest living human beings.
And with that said, I guess we'll see you next week.
See you next week, everybody.
Later.
Peace.
自由のために愛のために君は何にかけ何と戦うかたった一つのこの命を遥かなる愛にかけて戦うそれだけでいいのさ俺は